श्री हरि। विदुषी अरुंधति भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा केंद्र मैत्रेयी महाविद्यालय द्वारा इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एडवांस साइंसेज अमेरिका के स्कूल ऑफ इंडिक स्टडीज तथा काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिक स्टडीज एंड रिसर्च भारत के सहयोग से आयोजित साप्ताहिक अंतर्राष्ट्रीय अंतर्विषयी कार्यशाला 1 वीक इंटरनेशनल इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी वर्कशॉप ऑन रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी के आज इस सप्तम सत्र में आप सभी विद्वज्जनों, आचार्यों, शोधार्थियों एवं सहभागियों का हार्दिक अभिनंदन करते हुए मुझे अत्यंत हर्ष का अनुभव हो रहा है। जैसा कि विदित है कि यह कार्यशाला विविध ज्ञान विषयों के मध्य एक सृजनात्मक सेतु की तरह चल रही है, जहां जिज्ञासा, तर्क और प्रमाण के आधार पर अनुसंधान दृष्टि विकास संभव हो रहा है। यहाँ परंपरा और समकालीनता का ऐसा समन्वय परिलक्षित होता है जो हमें व्यापक एवं समन्वित बौद्धिकता की ओर प्रेरित करता है। वस्तुतः देखा जाए तो एक महत्वपूर्ण तथ्य उद्धृत करना चाहूंगा कि अनुसंधान जिज्ञासा से आरंभ होकर प्रमाण एवं तर्क के आलोक में सत्य की ओर अग्रसर होने की एक सुसंगत प्रक्रिया है। इसी परिप्रेक्ष्य में अनुसंधान पद्धति एक अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण अंग है। संदर्भ प्रणाली, साइटेशन। संदर्भ प्रणाली न केवल शोध को प्रामाणिकता प्रदान करती है, अपितु उसे एक सुदृढ़ बौद्धिक परंपरा से भी समृद्ध करती है। यह हमारे शोध को त्रिविध रूप से सुदृढ़ बनाती है। अगर हम देखें तो प्रथम यह कि यह हमारे प्रतिपादन को प्रामाणिकता एवं विश्वसनीयता प्रदान करती है। द्वितीय यह कि शैक्षणिक नैतिकता का निर्वाह करते हुए प्लेजरिज्म से संरक्षण करती है। और तीसरा यह अनुसंधान को एक सतत वैचारिक संवाद में परिणत करती है, जिसमें पूर्ववर्ती विद्वानों के विचारों का विकास संभव है। इस संदर्भ में संस्कृत का एक सुप्रसिद्ध सूक्त स्मरणीय है कि ना मूलम लिख्यते किंचित नानपेक्षितम लिख्यते, अर्थात बिना प्रमाण या आधार के कुछ भी न लिखा जाए तथा जो अपेक्षित अथवा प्रासंगिक न हो उसे भी स्थान न दिया जाए। भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा में भी यह उद्घोष स्पष्ट रूप से प्रतिध्वनित होता है। पूर्वाचार्योपदेशेन विना न ज्ञान सिद्धि है। अतः यह कहा जा सकता है कि संदर्भ प्रणाली केवल एक बहुत औपचारिक नहीं अपितु अनुसंधान की आत्मा है, जो उसे प्रामाणिकता, नैतिकता तथा उद्देश्य परक बनाती है। आज का यह सप्तम सत्र भी हमें अनुसंधान के इन्हीं सूक्ष्म एवं गहन आयामों से सुपरिचित कराएगा। अब हम कार्यक्रम का विधिवत शुभारंभ करना चाहेंगे और इसके लिए मंगलाचरण हेतु वैक IKS विदुषी अरुंधति भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा केंद्र की इंटर्न सुश्री छवि से निवेदन करता हूं कि वह आभासी मंच के माध्यम से मंगलाचरण द्वारा प्रस्तुत कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ करें, प्रस्तुत सत्र का शुभारंभ करें।
धन्यवाद सर। सर्वेभ्यो नमो नमः। वीणा निनादनी देवी माता शारदे शुभदे शुभे। वीणा निनादनी देवी माता शारदे शुभदे शुभे। सौख्यं प्रदायनी देवी माता शारदे शुभदे शुभे। हे ज्ञान देवर दे प्रिय विद्या विभावि भुवल्लभे। हे ज्ञान देवर दे प्रिय विद्या विभावि भुवल्लभे। साहित्यवारधि जने मति दे शिवे मति देहि मे। वीणा निनादनी देवी माता शारदे शुभदे शुभे। अज्ञान नाशिनी भव्य भाषा भाषिनी प्रबले बले। अज्ञान नाशिनी भव्य भाषा भाषिनी प्रबले बले। माता सरस्वती पाहि मां शरणागतं शरणं प्रदे वीणानिनादनी देवी माता शारदे शुभदे शुभे शारदे शुभदे शुभे शारदे शुभदे शुभे। धन्यवाद।
ओ शोभनम, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद छवि जी, आपके इस सुंदर मंगलाचरण हेतु। मंगलाचरण की इस पावन एवं मंगलमय प्रस्तुति हेतु निसंदेह हम केंद्र की तरफ से आपके प्रति कृतज्ञता अभिव्यक्त करते हैं और आगे बढ़ते हैं। आज के इस सप्तम सत्र की जो रिसोर्स पर्सन है, मुख्य वक्ता हैं, और इस कार्यक्रम में अपने विचारों से हम सभी का मार्गदर्शन करने वाली हैं, वह डॉक्टर वीना गुरियानी जी मैम है। वह मैत्रेयी महाविद्यालय में कंप्यूटर विज्ञान विभाग में एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर एवं विभागाध्यक्ष के रूप में कार्यरत हैं। उन्हें अध्यापन एवं शोध का 2 दशकों से अधिक का समृद्ध अनुभव है। और चूंकि यह उत्तरदायित्व हमारी जो केंद्र की पीआरओ हैं डॉक्टर अनामिका सिंह जी को करना है, तो मैं चाहूंगा कि वह आए और मैम का जो व्यक्तित्व है, जो मैम के विषय में थोड़ा सा प्रतिभागियों को उन्हें जानकारी प्रदान करें और उनका विधिवत स्वागत वक्तव्य भी करें उनके प्रति, प्रतिभागियों के प्रति। डॉक्टर अनामिका सिंह जी, ओवर टू यू।
जी, thank you so much, Pramod ji. First of all, good evening to everyone present here. I'm Dr. Anamika, and it is my pleasure to welcome you all today. Pramod ji, I'm audible, I think.
जी मैम, आप ना शायद 2 सिस्टम से जुड़ी हुई हैं, एक से जुड़ने की आवश्यकता नहीं है।
नहीं प्रमोद जी, उसको तो बंद कर दिया था। अभी कुछ ठीक है?
हाँ हाँ, ठीक है मैम, ठीक है।
I warmly welcome Honorable esteemed Speaker Dr. Veena, Dr. Pramod, and all the delegates and the esteemed guests and my dear colleagues. We are gathered for the 7th session of 1 week interdisciplinary international workshop on research methodology organized by Vidushi Arundhati Center for Indian Knowledge System. We are honored to have Dr. Veena Ghuriani with us as a keynote speaker for today's session. This day is packed with a very exciting session and networking opportunities designed to inspire all of us. We are excited to hear Dr. Veena, who will deliver a talk on citation management, software, and referencing tools for academic purposes. Before I start, I would like to introduce our eminent speaker, Dr. Veena. Dr. Veena Ghuriani is working as Associate Professor in Department of Computer Science, Maitreyi College, University of Delhi. Currently, she is heading the department. She did her MCA from Banaspati Vidyapeeth and PhD from Mohan Lal Sukhandia University, Udaipur, Rajasthan. She has more than 22 years of long journey of academia. Her areas of interest are compilers and text analysis. She is also serving as a nodal officer for knowledge system for NEP in South Delhi Cluster Hub, University of Delhi. She has co-authored 5 books. She has several research papers published in reputed journals. In year 2021, she has been honored as Indo-Asian Eminent Teachers Award for her excellent contribution in the field of computer science. She is passionate about issues related to environment, and her work in several different disciplines and projects leads to interdisciplinary. I warmly welcome you, ma'am, again, and we are really honored to work with such an eminent person in Maitreyi Mahavidyalaya. मेरी तरफ से आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है मैम, और आशा करती हूँ कि हमारे सभी सहभागी जितने भी पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं, सभी आपके जरूर साइटेशन एंड मैनेजमेंट वाले टॉक से जरूर उनको ज्ञानवर्धक होगा। तो स्वागत है मैम आपका।
Thank you so much, Dr. Anamika. Pramod ji, can I start my lecture?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible and clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So before I begin my lecture, I would like to extend my gratitude to all the organizers of Varundhati VAC Center of Information Indian Knowledge System of Maitreyi College for giving me this opportunity to be the resource person of this session and sharing my decent knowledge about citation management software. So, as Pramodji rightly introduced, that citations are play a very important role in our academic writing. So, whenever we are writing anything related to research, whether it is a journal paper, whether it is a report, the citations play a very, very important role because the citations validate whatever we are writing. They avoid plagiarism also. So the role of citations is very, very important. And now I'll start with my presentation. I'll be presenting my screen.
Yes, ma'am. Present, please.
I hope my presentation is visible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Please give me a moment. I'm just trying to adjust the screen. Okay. I hope it is visible in full screen to everybody.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you so much for confirming. So, first of all, before we talk about what citation softwares are, we should first understand what is citation. So, citation is basically a clear and formal note that gives credit to the original source of information, ideas, data, or words that we are using in our writing. So, what we basically mean is that whenever we are writing a research paper or a report, we generally tend to use formulas. We generally tend to give some figures. Like if we am talking about the current scenario, if I'm writing in a report that due to the war going on, there's a surge in the demand, or there's a surge in the demand of gas cylinders by 50%. So if I'm quoting a figure 50%, where did I come to know this? Am I quoting this figure on my own, or have I read it somewhere else? So I cannot quote any figure on my own. I definitely read it from somewhere. So I have to give the source of information from wherever I have taken this figure. Or if using a theory to prove something in my journal paper, or trying to relate it with some existing theory, definitely I'll have to give the source of that particular theory so that the readers can go to that particular source, read more about that information, and also validate whatever I'm writing. So it is formulas, it can be any quotation that you're using. If you are giving a quotation of any famous personality, that definitely does not belong to me. So anything that does not belong to me, anything that I'm quoting from some other person's information source, from other source, it can be a web source, it can be a newspaper, it can be an article, it can be some report, earlier report, a government website, it can be some data set. Whatever that does not belong to me, whatever is available freely to anybody that anybody can use, if I am using that information, if I'm using that formula, if I'm using that theory, if I'm using that quote given by somebody else in my writing, I have to cite it. I have to give a proper reference so that I validate that whatever a figure I'm giving, whatever quotation is giving is actually correct and it is not false. So the main purpose of citation is to make my work more trustworthy and also to avoid plagiarism. If I do not give, or if I do not give the proper reference of the source from which I've got that particular figure, it is called plagiarism, because there I'm not giving proper credit to the author, to whoever was the first person who came up with that particular figure, whoever came up with, whoever was the first to research on that particular theory or formula, or the founder of any particular fact, right? So that becomes plagiarism. But if I give the proper citation of that particular information, it will not be called as a plagiarism. That is a correct way of giving credit to the authors, right? So that is what citation is and why citation is important. Now, what does the citation include? The citation normally includes the name of the author, the title of the work. The title of the work can be the book chapter, the journal paper, or some kind of government report that I'm using in my particular academic writer. The source can be the journal name where that particular paper has been published, the conference, the website from where that particular paper or writing can be found. Normally, the publication date is included, and sometimes even the page numbers, because if it is a very long report, and if you've used a particular fact in your journal or report anything else, you have to be very specific and give the page numbers also. So that is what a proper citation is all about, right? So we move forward. Now, why is it important to cite the original source? So I already had given the reason, but I'm taking it forward by giving some points over here. This is basically acknowledging the intellectual work of other writers or researchers. So when we give the citation, we are actually giving credit that this does not belong to me, but this is some others work that I'm using in my research. It is also a way to avoid plagiarism. So when we use another person's words or ideas without acknowledging them, this is plagiarized, right? So proper citation will prevent this plagiarism. Also, it will give credibility to your research by strengthening that this is the source from where I have taken this particular fact. So it increases the credibility of your academic writing, your report, your paper, whatever you're writing. Also, it increases the traceability. That means if the readers are, if they want to verify your claims, or if they want to get more details about your research, they can trace back to the source that you are providing, right? And also, it is legally correct. It is basically for the academic integrity that we provide correct citation as part of the scholarly integration. So these are the reasons why a citation is very, very important in any kind of academic writing that we are doing. Now we come to when do we need to cite? So we need to cite whenever we are borrowing from somebody else intellectual property. Intellectual property is basically the research that somebody else has written, an article as if anybody else has written. It can be basically a poem also. It can be a story also. So if you're making use of some idea given by somebody else, right, it becomes your intellectual property. You must have heard of many cases where these days even the movie makers or the composers are alleging that the content is plagiarized. They have taken the song from some other movie, from some other author. So this is basically actually intruding into the intellectual property of somebody else. But had those composers given somewhere in the credits that the influence of this song belongs from comes from this particular source, maybe it can be a folk song or something else, then nobody would have objected, because everything has a copyright associated with that. And if you're trying to violate that, that is basically wrong, but that is basically called plagiarism. So when you are using a direct quote, that is copying the exact words, you need to cite it. When you are paraphrasing or summarizing someone else's idea, so idea belongs to somebody else, but maybe I'm just changing the words and introducing it as my original idea. That again requires citation. When you're referring to specific data, figures, statistics that are not common knowledge, that are being used from specific sources, you have to cite the sources very specifically. When you use images, charts, tables, or multimedia created by others, again, you need to cite. Sometimes what happens if we do not actually realize that when we are writing a report, we are using charts available publicly on the web, or sometimes we even use images. Even if you're making a PPT, if you're making use of image that is created by somebody else, right? That is again plagiarism. So always, if you're trying to use images, try to find out copyright free images that can be included in your content. Or if you are finding an image very, very nice and you want to use it in your PPT or use it in your report, please give the complete source of that particular image or chart or table, whatever you are using. Then, when you are referencing a unique theory, a method, or an argument that is developed by somebody else, so this is basically where you need to cite. Very clearly, you do not need to cite common knowledge, like facts which are widely available, like as I've specified that the earth orbits around the sun. Now, this is a universally available fact and that you do not need to cite. But when you are in doubt about any particular fact, whether it is a common knowledge or not, it is better that you provide the citation of the fact that you are using, right? So that it will not lead to any kind of plagiarism. Okay, then we come, where does the citation occur? Where do you put the citation? So whenever you're writing a report or a journal paper, anything, or even your PhD thesis, if you're writing, the source, the citation, whatever we called, appears at two places. First is in text, right? In text citation is basically a short reference placed where the borrowed idea occurs. So suppose in your report or your thesis, you are specifying that there is a surge of AQI in the month of November and December by 80%. So where does this 80% come from? So immediately where you're writing this particular 80%, you need to provide a short citation that is called the in-text citation, right? So that is the shortened reference. Secondly, at the end of your thesis or report or journal paper, you have to provide the complete list of all the references that you have used in your work. So this comes at the end in the document. That is basically a reference list. So in-text citation is the shortened reference, and reference list provides the complete detail of the work that you were trying to cite in your paper, in your writing, right? And there are different citation styles available that we'll be covering in further slides. Okay, so I've just given a screenshot here that just to explain that this is some paper, and you can see that there is something written in blue in brackets. This is basically your in-text citation. So there's a line: consumers are the largest individual contributors to food waste. Now, this is something that you are telling that only the consumers are the biggest contributors who are leading to food waste. So where did you read it from? So this is basically the research paper from which you have read it from, and this is the in-text citation that you're providing. And you can see that these are the name of the authors. Griffin, Sobel, Lyson, these are the name of the authors. And this is the year. Generally, the publication year is generally written when you are performing an in-text citation. In some kind of citation styles, you need to provide the page numbers, but that is really very rare. Now you can see another line here that food wastage not only leads to an increase in the percentage of humans deprived of food, but also triggers climate change by emitting greenhouse gases amounting to approximately 17 million CO2 equivalent ton. Now, this is a figure that has been quoted by the author, 17 million CO2 equivalent tons. So where has this particular figure come from? This has come from some paper by Pandey written in the year 2021. So this is basically your in-text citations that you're written. And so on, you can see that there are many in-text citations written over here. Here, this one specifically, I'd like to highlight over here. Sorry, go back. This one, Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO 1981. This is a report that has been used. So it is not always that whenever you're performing, giving a citation, it has to be a journal paper or a book chapter. No, it can be a report also. So this is some kind of a report, and the source has been given over here, right? So this is basically your in-text citation. So this is one place where you have to provide the citation. And here, this is the complete reference list of a paper that I've taken. So at the end of the paper, when you have written all the sections starting from abstract, then introduction, then literature review, then maybe material and methodology, results and discussions, conclusion. After conclusion, you generally have the section of references where all the references have been listed down over here. So whatever you have, whatever references you have used in your research paper, they need to be listed down. And also you need to ensure that whatever you are writing in your references has been cited in the main text, and vice versa. Whatever you're citing in the main text has to appear in your reference list also at the end. So this cross check you will have to perform and ensure that correctly the references have been written. Okay, so here again, I'm going back to in-text citations. So in-text citations generally show where the borrowed material appear in your writing, the place, exact place where you have actually taken some facts, taken some data from somebody else writing. So here there are certain ways of writing the citation. So one of the style is APA. This is the reference style. So if you're writing the in-text citation in APA style or APA style, that is normally called, you have to give the name of the author, comma, the year. Page numbers are again that can be skipped, but author name and the year is very, very common. Then there is another style which is MLA style. So here you can see that the sentence is written like this: according to Smith, right? So Smith is some author whom you're referring, whose work you're referring to, right? So it can be written like this, or it can be in brackets, Smith 45. So the presence of comma is present, not present. So here you can see that there's no publication year given. Here the page number is given. So it differs. How the in-text citation is written will depend upon the referencing style that I'll be taking later. Again, there can be some footnotes or endnotes. For footnotes generally appear at the end of the page, and they generally have a subscript number on top of it. So it can be 1 or 2. So if you want to give something in a little more detail, which you were avoiding in your text, main text, that can be given as a footnote, right? So these are some common citation styles that I just discussed. So there is something called MLA, which is Modern Language Association, generally used in humanities. Then you can see that this is the complete reference which will appear in the reference list. So Smith is basically the last name, Jane is the first name. So Smith is coming first, and then Jane, then dot. This is the name of the article or the journal paper, uh, title of the paper. And this is Fiction Press is basically maybe the publisher, and this is the year of publication, right? So this is in the reference list that appears at the bottom, containing all this information. But when you are citing this information in your text, in text citation would appear something like this: Smith 123. So 123 was basically the page number from which the fact was borrowed in your academic writing. Then there's another style which is very common, which is APA, American Psychological Association, again used in social sciences. Here you can see that the complete reference appears, the last name Smith, comma J. Only the initial letter of the first name is appearing over here. Then full stop, bracket, it is having the year of publication first, that is coming first over here. Then the name of your journal paper or whatever. This is the name of the journal where it has been published. This is the volume number, maybe the version or the edition. These are the page numbers 45 to 60, and this is the DOI. I hope all of you are aware of DOI. So sometimes DOI is also included in the reference list. And for this, the in-text citation you can see is Smith, comma, the publication year. So for APA, it is author name, comma, the publication years. If there are more than one authors, so there is another way of this is extended. So you can see that Smith is the last name. So as many number of authors are there, the last names would appear over here, Smith, comma, whatever the name, they will be separated by commas, or sometimes it is et al. When you have more than two authors, you must have seen, I'll just like to go back if I can see if I have written et al somewhere. Yeah, just pay attention to this particular reference, Stephen et al. Bracket 2013. So Stephen is the first author of the work, and there are multiple authors. So we cannot list all the authors in this particular referencing style. So the first author's last name et al. Specifies there are many authors in this particular academic work, followed by the publication year. So this is how it is cited inside the text. Okay. Then another very popular style is IEEE. This is used in sciences mainly. And you can see how it is appearing. J. Smith. So here the first name is coming first. In the first two first styles, you can see in MLA and APA, the last name is appearing, but in IEEE, the initial letter of the first name dot, the last name, comma, then it is the name of the paper, then publisher, not the journal name. Journal name is not given, and then here you have the publication year. And in IEEE format, it is the reference number. You do not give the name of the author and the year. The references are given as, I'll just specify. Here, you can see that in this case, the reference list is given like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So 1, 2, 3 is basically specifying the order in which these references have been used in the academic writing or your report or your PhD thesis. So when you're trying to refer to these in your work, it is written like this: brackets, square brackets, 1, 2. This is how the work is cited inside the text. So since it was a little different, I specially mentioned IEEE. There's one more style which is very, very popular. That is the Vancouver style that is almost similar to IEEE. So I think you must have got an idea of what the complete reference is and what the in-text citation is. Okay, then how should you actually work with accurate citations? So what you have to do is, first of all, whenever you're starting your research, you should keep your resources in the sense, whatever papers, whatever writings you're referring, you have to save those details somewhere. Either you make a folder and download all the papers and keep them in one particular folder, either Google Drive or in your Drive folder, downloadable folder. You can keep all the papers in one particular drive so that you do not have to search for them here and there. Try to organize your work. If you are using different references for introduction part, literature review part, the results part, you can maybe create subfolders inside the main folder and organize your references over there. Then you should use citation tools. Initially, we did not have Zotero, or citation tools were not there, and we were doing it manually. But now there are many citation tools available, so they should be used, and they will be helpful. They will be helpful in speeding up your process where the citations are to be given. Follow your style guide closely. Follow your style guide means just follow if you have to submit your research work to any journal, be detailed to the minimum, to the smallest things that they are mentioning. What should appear in italics? What should be the punctuation? Is it the publication year that should come first? Is it the first name that is coming first? Normally, the referencing styles are given by their names, like APA, MLA, Vancouver, IEEE. But sometimes these are not given also. So in that case, you will have to yourself judge what kind of reference style is to be used, and then put your reference style citations or the main reference list in that particular manner. Include page numbers also. Sometimes that is required. So be very precise. That is basically precise sourcing. So try to manage maybe the details of the page numbers that you've tried to access. Then cite images and non-text material also. If you are using visual or audio content that is requiring some kind of citations, you need to cite them also, and please store the details of the source for those this kind of media also, the visual and the audio media also. Okay, so what does the citation management software do? So citation management software, there are many. You can see that I've given a few citation management softwares. You have Zotero, Mendeley, EndNote. These three are very, very popular. But besides these, you have others also: JabRef, Jitavi, and PepperPie. These are also used for citations. So these citation management softwares will help to collect the references and form a database. They also organize your research papers and PDFs. They help to insert the citations automatically, and also insert the bibliography or the references in different referencing style. They help to manage large research libraries, and also if you want to convert from one referencing style to another. These softwares will do it very, very quickly without you having to do it, convert each and every reference or citations manually. This is done automatically by these softwares. So I've just tried to compare three of them, Zotero, Mendeley, and EndNote. So Mendeley is basically by Elsevier and EndNote is by Clarivate. Zotero is by Corporation for Digital Scholarship, and Zotero and Mendeley both are free softwares, but EndNote requires some kind of institutional license. Then storage are specified. Storage of Zotero is 300 MB cloud storage, and Mendeley is very, very huge, which is 2 GB. And EndNote, since it is subscription based, it will depend upon the subscription that you're taking. Platform support on which kind of systems can these softwares work. So you can see that Zotero and Mendeley can work in Windows, Mac, Linux, but EndNote does not support Linux. Then word process integration, on which kind of word processor can you use these citation management softwares, because ultimately you'll be writing or typing your report in some kind of a word processor, either Word or LibreOffice or Google Docs. So you can see that in Zotero, you can use it with all these three: MS Word, LibreOffice, Google Doc. Mendeley, you can use it with MS Word and LibreOffice, but definitely there are certain add-ons so that you can use it with, integrate it with Google Doc, but it is not given by default. Again, for EndNote, it is only MS Word where you can make use of this particular software. Then the citation styles, Zotero supports almost 10,000 plus referencing styles. Mendeley is a little less, 7,000 plus styles, and Note is 6,000 plus styles, although these are a very huge number. Then if I talk about easy to use, Zotero is very, very user friendly. Personally, I am using Zotero only. Mendeley is also user friendly, but if you personally ask me, I prefer Zotero. Why? Because it is very user friendly, and also it can be integrated with Google Doc and MS Word, because these are the two platforms we generally work with. So it can be easily used in both these word processors. So I'll be going with Zotero. In my presentation, I'll be using Zotero only. So the demo will be on Zotero so we'll be starting. But before I start with Zotero, I'll just like to specify that what should be the general workflow of citation management tools. So when we are working with any kind of citation management tool, it is the basic steps that we need to follow: that search the literature and save the references. That means whatever papers you're reading during your research, for creating your report, writing a book chapter, whatever kind of academic writing you are using, you should save all the PDFs, you should save all the references so that you can refer back to those papers, those readings later on when you're writing a report. So what generally happens is, at the undergraduate level, when we are teaching the students, they come across a good paper, but since they have not saved that particular reference, sometimes they are trying to recall that I did read a paper where I had read this something good about the methodology part. There was very good references or a very good literature review given, but they cannot recall. So the best practice is, whatever paper that you are reading, either you download it, or if you are using Google Scholar or any other, software, you have an option of either storing that software in their library only, cloud storage, it can be saved. So create a folder, create a drive, and save all your references, all your readings in one particular folder, so that you can fall back upon when you're writing a report. Organize your library. That means whatever you're downloading, it should be properly organized. Like, if you are very clear about what you would like to include in your introduction, you can separate out the references that you wish to use in the introduction part, the literature review part, the material methodology, the results. So you can separate it out. So at the time of writing, it becomes very easy for you, and you don't have to then decide what to include in introduction and what not to include in introduction. So, and if you feel that, if you're writing a literature review and you feel that the number of papers that you're referring to is very, very less, you can maybe study more papers, read more papers, and include them in your library or folder. Okay. Then after the library has been created, once you create a full-fledged library, you have to start using a software citation management tool that you will use for inserting your citations. So insert your citations and generate the bibliography or the reference list that appears at the end of your research paper or report or PhD thesis, whatever you are trying to write. So this would be the normal flow, how you should work. Now, I'll be starting my demo of Zotero. So in order to download Zotero, I'll just tell you the website that you can use. Yeah. It is freely downloadable. So in order to download Zotero, this is the first link that you have to use, www.zotero.org. I hope this link is visible. So you have to simply click on the first link. If there are participants who are ready with their laptop and they want to install it, they can do it with me. So the first step is to write www.zotero.org. And here you have the option. There are two parts of Zotero. You have Zotero for Windows, as you can see over here. Okay, and Zotero connector. I'll tell you what Zotero connector is. Here you have Zotero for mobile also. And here you have other versions for Zotero. So if you are not working on Windows, if you're working on Mac, if you're working on Linux, iOS, Android, all the versions are available over here. So on whichever platform you are working, you have to simply click that particular option and click the download button over here, right? So once you download this, this is the downloadable version, the desktop version that is downloaded. Then you have the second part, this part, which is Zotero connector. This Zotero connector is basically used for integrating Zotero with the web browser that you're using. So you can see that this is showing Microsoft Edge over here because currently I'm using Edge. So it is showing me that you can integrate it with Microsoft Edge. So whatever, you can see that there is option for integrating it with other browsers also. So Chrome integration, Firefox integration, and Safari integration is also available so that you can integrate it with your browser also. So these are the two things that you need to download, right? Since Zotero is already available on my system, I'll not download it, but the process is very simple. You can do it right now also. Download this one and then this one, right? So once you have done this, once you have downloaded Zotero, right? I'll show how it appears. Yeah. So this is the icon of Zotero. I hope you can see this. This is the, after downloading, you will see an icon on your desktop. So when you get this icon, your Zotero software has been downloaded successfully. Now what you need to do it, I'll make you familiar with the interface. I'm clicking, double clicking on this particular icon. Okay. So this is the interface of Zotero. And you can see that what you have over here is my library. So my library, you can see several folders. Since I have been working on Zotero, I created different folders for the different work I was doing. And if I just click and show it to you, you can just see how it appears. So this is the list of references I have used for this particular work. Another folder, again, there are certain references over here also, this way. Okay. So this is how your interface is going to appear, and you can create as many folders as you want. So when you are on library, you have to simply right click and you have this option, new collection. So when you want, if you want, you can give a new name also over here. Suppose I have another topic which I am working on. So I give responsible AI and click on create collection. So you can see that this new collection or new library or new folder has been created, and you can see there's no paper, nothing. It is blank initially because I have not added any references. Any PDF has not been added over here. So this is how you are creating your folders. In fact, inside this particular folder that you have created, right? If you want, you can create a new sub collection. So you have an option. So maybe if you're writing a research paper, you want to create a different sub collection of introduction, abstract, then literature review, you can do so. So that is a very good way of organizing your work over here. Whatever papers that you're trying to refer, you can organize it in different subfolders here over here. Okay. Then you have these duplicate items. As you can see that this is actually listing out whatever work I had downloaded twice. So you can see over here, there are two entries for one common paper. Yeah. So it can identify those duplicate entries, right? And unfiled items will tell you that there are certain items which I have not included in any of these collections. So if you want, you can simply drag and drop it over here. It is as easy as that. Drag and drop it in a folder. So you can put it in some collection if you think that it is relevant. And if you think it is not relevant, what you can do is from any folder, simply right click on it and you have an option, move this item to trash. This is for deleting. So if you want to delete an item, that can also be done. So this is a trash folder you can see. So whatever you delete will go here, right? So it is, I think this is very, very familiar. I think this, we do not require any much information about this. So first thing, create your folders and then start working on it. Now, my first task is I have created a folder that you can see over here. Now I want to add whatever I am reading. I want to add whatever papers I'm reading in this particular folder. How do I do it? So there are certain options over here. You can see the first thing is these are the variety of academic content that you can refer. Section, conference paper, data set, document, email, whatever you want, right? Manuscript, conference paper, presentation, whatever you want to refer, you can select from here. But I'll come to this later. This is your magic wand. Why is it is a magic wand? Because you have to simply enter the DOI over here and it will copy the contents. It will get the contents of the paper over here. So what I'll do is I will try to open a paper. Okay, just see, this is the paper I have opened, and it can be any paper that you want to use, right? That you want to include, right? So you can see that here, generally, where the paper title and the authors are appearing, you have this DOI number, right? So what I have to do is, or if you're talking about PubMed, so it has a PubMed ID. Depending upon the type of database that you're using, generally have some kind of ID. The papers or there's academic writing have some kind of ID. You have to simply copy it, Control C. This is the Zotero icon. Go to this particular, open this Zotero. And here on this particular icon, click and enter or paste the DOI that you want to use. So when you click enter, you can see that this particular paper has been added. And on the right hand side panel, all the details regarding this paper have been automatically extracted and filled over here. So you can see that this item is telling that item type is basically a conference paper, the title of the paper, who are all the authors. You can see that it has 3 authors. So authors is over here, the proceeding titles it has extracted, the conference name, publisher of this conference, even the date has been extracted over here and page numbers are here and DOI. So almost a complete detail it has extracted on its own. Initially, we had Word also. In fact, now also in Word, we have the referencing feature, but it is completely manual. You will have to give each and every detail. What is the title of the paper? Who are the authors? Is it a conference paper? It is a journal paper, the publisher name, the year, everything you have to give, and then it will create the reference, right? So here you do not have to do anything at all. Simply copy the DOI, paste the DOI over here, press enter, and it will extract all the details automatically. And this is forming your library, right? So this is one way of doing it. Okay. The next way of doing it is I talked about when we were installing Zotero. I told you that you should also download Zotero connector. So what is the purpose of this Zotero connector? Zotero connector can be used if you're reading a paper. If you're here, I told you was copy the DOI into that particular dialog box, and the paper would be added. Now I can do the same thing over here. Let me see if I have a paper. I think I had open. Yes. Let me open this paper. This is about logistic regression. Okay. Right? So this is a paper over here. This is also having a DOI. So this method, now I know that I can simply copy this DOI and paste it into Zotero, so this paper can be added. But because of the connector that I have installed, I can go to this add-on icon. See, it has extensions, right? And I have this Zotero connector over here. Okay. So when I click on Zotero connector, yeah, it is asking me, where do you want to save this paper? It is showing me responsible AI because that was the latest folder that I created. But when I click on this arrow, I can see all the folders, all the collections that I have created here. And I can select the folder where I wish to save this particular paper directly from the web browser, right? So if I just click on responsible AI, I'll be working on this particular collection only, and I click on done, right? Now let me go to Zotero and check what has happened. So when I go to Zotero, you can see this particular paper has been added. Logistic regression, the paper that I was just referring to, has been added, and you can see on the right hand side panel, the complete detail of this particular paper are visible. So this is, you can see how easy it has become. Either you can so with the help of the connector, you can directly add whatever paper you feel nice, that you might probably be referring to this particular in your writing in future. You can simply add it in your collection. Okay, now after we have done this, you know how to add. Now there is this particular icon. You can see this is an icon, a PDF icon over here, which shows that the PDF, this is basically for open access articles. The PDF has also been accessed over here. It is available over here. So this is the attachment. You can see this attachment. So it has created the attachment also. Now you can refer to this paper directly over here, right? So this is how it can be done. There's one more method I would like to refer over here. Suppose you already have now, since you are, there might be many people who have not used Zotero, and you have created your own folders by downloading the research papers. But now you want to add them into Zotero. What do I do? Do I need to search them again on the web? No, you do not have to do that. I have to simply click over here, right? In the third icon, you can see over here, add file, right? Add file, attach file. So if I click on add file, I have this is a research paper, and I click on open. See what happens. It is first showing the title of the file that I was trying to add. It will take a few seconds. And now see what it has done. The name of the file with which it was saved on my system, it has been replaced by complete now. The name of the research paper, the authors. Now this is also an open access paper. You can see the complete metadata about this paper has also been generated over here. So that is the beauty of using a citation management software. Again, you can see that PDF document, since the icon is available here, I can refer to the complete attachment also. So you can directly import the data, whatever you have, whatever files you have, you can directly import. All together, all the files can be imported into Zotero. You can do it with the help of a DOI or a PubMed ID, or you can use the Zotero connector and add it to your Zotero platform. Now, once you have created, okay, one more thing I like to mention over here. Sometimes what happens is the article that you're trying to read is very, very old. It does not have a DOI, right? In that case, how do I add? one way of doing it is to use the connector that will always add the paper to your Zotero library. The other way, I'll just tell you over here, is sometimes what you're trying to do is I have this. Let me say it is a conference paper. Okay, that is on the top only. Okay, some information is missing. I want to add it manually. Whatever I'm trying, I'm not able to do it automatically in Zotero. So what I can do is I can type in the title over here. So the title is, maybe, let me say it is support vector machine. Maybe this is the title of the, sorry. And here you can see it is the author. The last name is to be given first. Suppose I'm giving A. The first name I'm giving B. Maybe I don't know the name. You can put the name of the conference. And if you do not know it right now, what I can do is, I know that this paper was published in, say, 2022. Okay, so I can just press enter. So whatever information you're providing in the right-hand side panel, it is creating a reference here. Support vector machine, I think I spelled it wrong. So whatever I spelled it, it is created a title over here. The creator is basically the author. Author is over here. And 2022, that is I've given over here. Maybe this is what I know about the paper and I have added it over here. And maybe later on, I get the other details regarding the name of the conference, the publisher, the place, right? The page numbers, if I know the DOI, the ISBN, whatever I know, the URL also will help, right? So whatever information is available, I can add it at a later stage whenever I get that information. So that will be automatically updated whenever you're adding those details in this particular software. So this is how you are creating your library, right? The first thing is to create this library, put all your resources, put all your PDFs in here, right? Once this has been created, we have created our database, and now we can actually start using the citation management tool wherever we want to, right? Okay, so this is done. I'm not going into other details, what are fields and tags that are not much required. I'm just concentrating because I have limited time. I need to show you that how it is to be added as citation in a document, how the reference list is to be generated. So I'll be moving it to that particular part now. So this is complete library I have created. Okay. So once this is done, I'm just minimizing it. Always remember that when you are adding the references, the citations to a Word doc or Google Doc, your Zotero should be open on the desktop. The desktop icon, you have to click and open it. Only then you will be able to access it. Now see, since it has been integrated, the Zotero is already integrated. You can see that on the menu over here, there's a menu option of Zotero. This is there, right? Also, I'd like to show you that whether it is occurring in the Google Doc or not. So I'll just open a Google Doc. You can see that this is the Google Doc I have opened, and on the top of in the menu itself, you can see that there is a menu option of Zotero. That means it has been integrated with Google Doc and Word document. That is what I told you. That is the beauty. It can be integrated with both without doing anything else, without installing any new add-on. Now let's move to Word. I already have a document, right? This is the document I would be working on. Yeah. Acha, I was just trying to show that reference menu is also available in Word, but I'm not using it because Zotero, any citation management software is much, much more easier, and it provides you the work done is at a very high speed. Okay. So this is a small framework that I have created over here. I'll just remove this. Okay. Yeah. So this is the small template I have created where I'll be using some citations. So you can see that there's some introduction written over here. And at two places I've written cite here, and here also I've written cite here. That means I should add citation at these two places. And this is my reference section where the reference list will appear. So what I have to do now, in order to add a citation, you can see that when I click on the Zotero menu, I have this option, add or edit citation and add or edit bibliography, right? So I have to add a citation, right? Okay. So in order to add a citation, you have to bring your cursor over here where you wish to add a particular citation. So I am clicking on the citation. Yeah. So you can see that this particular drop-down menu has appeared. Now, this was the last reference I just had. It's not necessary that I add this one. So whatever, if I remember the name of the author or if I remember the name of the paper that I want to refer over here, I have to type it. But you don't have to type it completely. You can see that whatever, as you're typing, whatever is matching is being prompted to you over here. So I'm typing responsible. So it is basically responsible AI. This is the paper I wish to insert. Just click on this and press enter. Okay, so I think this is appearing one over here because I think I used Vancouver style or IEEE. Let me just change. Now I'll be showing you how to change the reference style also. So what you have to do is go to the document preferences. When you click on document preferences, yeah, this is showing you the list of all available styles that you have that you can use. Okay, so what I do is I'm initially making use of the APA style, which is the most popular style. Okay, so see, as soon as you change the style, you can see the citation, the in-text citation also changed automatically. You did not have to do anything over here. So this is the name of the author et al. Because it is having a group of authors cannot be listed over here. So it is et al. Comma the year of the publication, right? Now, this is how the citation has been added. The next step is to add the bibliography. How do I add the complete reference in the reference section? So I go to the reference section, simply click here, add or edit bibliography. See, the reference has been automatically added over here according to the reference style that we selected. Okay, now let me perform one more citation over here. I'm trying to put one more citation. So I click on add or edit citation. And it will show me the drop down over here. Let me say I am typing something on logistic regression. So this was the paper I just downloaded, or maybe any other paper that is present. I can just select that. Maybe I select this one. Okay. Press enter. You can see the in-text citation has appeared over here. Now here there are two authors. Since there were two authors, it is separated by an ampersand sign. But when there are more than two of authors, the et al. Phrase is used over here. So Abia and Johnson, comma 2024. And here you see Abia and so this is basically APA style will arrange the references in alphabetical order. So this reference, although I added it later, but you can see that it has been put in alphabetical order. So Abia VM. Abia is basically the last name. VM is the part of their first name, and Johnson, EH bracket 2024. This is the year. So you can see that in the in-text citation, Abia and Johnson is written and 2024 is coming over here. And both have been automatically added. You had to just click on add bibliography once when you started. But for this particular citation that I just added, you did not have to do that also. It has automatically updated it. Also, one more thing. If sometimes what happens is at a particular place, you have to add more than one citation. So what do I do? I can just select it, right? After selecting it, sorry. After selecting, I again click on add or edit citation. Yeah. So the previous citation is appearing. Now, besides that, you want to refer to another, maybe for a particular definition of or for a particular writing, you are referencing more than one source. So that can be included over here. So this was about something about sentiment analysis. Let me try to find some other paper. So there is RBI and Johnson have already included. Maybe I am trying to include this machine learning and sentiment analysis. I click over here and I press enter. So you can see that according to the APA style, the two references have to appear like this, Abia and Johnson and Anant Kumar. This is the reference that I've just added. And you can see that in the reference list, in the bibliography also, this new reference has been added. And here you can see the number of authors. Anant Kumar, Zafira. So there are multiple authors. So after the first author name, it is et al. The et al. Phrase has been used and the year is written over here. So this is how it is being done automatically without any effort. It is putting the in-text citation and it is creating your reference style, reference list also, or the bibliography. It is being created effortlessly, right? So this is how you have to do. What you should know is, see this, looking at this template, you should know that if I'm writing a fact, I specify that I'll be adding a reference over here later on. So this is generally should be followed by students. Write some, whatever you're writing, if you're putting a fact, if you're putting a formula, putting a phrase, put a bracket for reference so that you remember that a citation has to be added over here. So this is how the citations are being added over here, right? I hope you've understood this. Okay, now what I'll do is, this is the demo for adding citation. Now, as I told you that I want to change it, I want to change the reference style. This is basically your APA style that you've used, but maybe this was your research paper and you submitted to a journal where it did not work out, it was rejected, and now you want to try for some other journal. Now the new journal that you want to try out has a different referencing style completely. So what do? Do you need to rewrite it every in-text citation? Do you need to do it everything manually? No, you do not have to do anything manually if you're making use of the citation management software. Now what you will have to do is go to this document preference. Now I have three references over here. I'll demonstrate how I can simply change the referencing style over here. So here I need to select what kind of reference you are looking for. So if I say I am looking for, say, the Chicago style, Chicago manual style. Okay. So I click here and I say, okay. See, it is done automatically. Automatically, it has been done. The citation has been changed. You can notice the difference not in the in-text citation. So maybe in Chicago style also, the in-text citations are not different. They are almost similar to how you were doing for the APA style. But the reference list that has been created is very much different over here, right? How the year has been written in APA style, the year, publication year was enclosed in brackets, but now it is not enclosed in brackets, right? So these are small differences that you will feel in different referencing style. Let me change it completely. I'm using IEEE style. So you can see over here. Here, completely, as I told you, the references are given numbers in the order of their appearance. So although the author name is starting with K, it is not alphabetically coming first, but the order of reference was for this was first. So it is being given by square brackets 1. So that is how you are giving it in IEEE style, and it has automatically been changed. So that is the advantage of using any kind of citation management software, that you can move from one referencing style to another without making any change. Suppose in okay, one more thing I like to tell over here that is maybe of use to many of you. When I click on reference style, yeah. And in this list that you're seeing over here, the style that I am looking for, the style that my journal wants me to write in, is not listed. If you see that it is not listed over here, there is an option over here of manage styles. which gives me a complete list. Get additional styles. These are the styles that were already available. What I'm doing is I'm getting additional styles since I'm not satisfied with whatever was listed over there. I want more styles. So see the amount of I since it was telling 10,000 plus referencing styles. See, here it is written. It is 10,814 40 styles are available. And these are the name of the journals. When you rest your mouse cursor on any one of them, it will load its preview. I'll just wait for a second over here and show you how the reference in text, see, how the citation would appear and how the bibliography would appear. So in case if you're searching for a particular style that has not been given any name but has been specified by the journal where you're wishing to submit your work, you can search it like this also. Although it will be a little tedious, but it definitely works. See the number of citation styles that are available. Whatever is your requirement, you can select. Okay. So just see, I'm resting my mouse cursor and it is showing me both the things, the in-text citation on the top and the bibliography at the bottom. So whatever you want, you can simply select it, double click on it and that particular style will be added on the default list, right? So this is how you can extend your repository of Zotero style. Okay. So this is one thing I was trying to say you. Okay, this refresh button also has a role. Sometimes when you are trying to update the reference style, but it does not work. So what you have to do simply, or maybe you're trying to delete, if you have deleted a particular reference. Okay, let me try to do it. I am trying to remove this one. I remove the comma also. Okay, I've removed one reference. So what do? I need to refresh it. I click on yes. Just a second, please. Let me go back. Maybe I'll have to save it again and refresh it, then it will go away, right? So that it works actually. It's not a problem. I don't know why it's not doing it right now, but this refresh button will help you adjust according to whatever addition or deletion you are doing. So automatically what happens is when a citation is removed, so it should work, but no worries. I think maybe you will when you try. I think I should not have pressed yes over there. When I press no, it will work over here. So just try that. It's not a big deal. Also, there's an option of unlinked citations. Whenever you are saving, you're sending the paper to a particular journal, always create a copy of whatever work you've done with the citations and then unlink the citations in that copy. Keep one copy linked so that whenever you want to change it for any further reference, for changing the reference style, if you have to send it to some other paper, you have one linked version. And whenever you want to submit as a PDF, send it as a Word, create a copy, then click on unlink the citations. So when you click on unlink the citations, if you're making any change onto your Zotero, the downloadable version of Zotero, it will not be reflected in the Word document, right? So keep it linked, keep one copy linked, and for purpose of submission, for changes or anything else, you should always maintain one copy linked and work on the unlinked copies for submission purpose, right? So this was about Zotero. The same thing, I'll just give you a brief on Google Doc as well. I'll just show it over here. So here you have Zotero, add citation and add bibliography. Almost the same thing are over here. And link is also there, refresh is also there, document preferences is also there. So if I am trying to add a citation, the same thing appears over here also. Here, definitely it will ask you the account on which you're working and which you want to link with the Zotero. So this is my default account. Okay. So maybe when I click on the correct account, I will be able to add the Zotero reference here also. So click on the account which is basically linked with your Zotero that you've downloaded. So this if this email ID was not the one on with which I am actually using Zotero, the downloadable version, because there's a cloud version also. So if your email ID is not linked with this particular ID, you won't be able to use the Google Doc, right? So that email ID has to be the same. And other options that you can see are almost the same, and you can work in the similar way in the Google Doc as well using the same options. So with that, I stop my demonstration and I'm open for questions now.
Thank you, ma'am. First of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude uh, to everyone who contributed to this informative lecture. I extend my heartfelt thanks to our respected speaker.
सर, आकाश सर, अभी मैम ने ना प्रश्न
अच्छा,
मांगे हैं। हाँ, अगर एक बार कुछ प्रतिभागियों के प्रश्न होंगे तो पूछ
ओके,
लेंगे, क्योंकि दूसरा सत्र 7:30 से है, 7:30 से।
ओके।
हाँ,
Thank you so
प्रतिभागियों
much.
से निवेदन है कि अगर किसी को कोई प्रश्न हो तो पूछे। अनामिका मैडम, आप
जी
सत्र
जी जी, मैं
पढ़ाएं।
देख रही हूँ। मैम, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वेरी इंफॉर्मेटिव सेशन, और हम सब देख पा रहे हैं कि चैट बॉक्स में पूरा सिर्फ यही लिखा है, द सेशन इज वेरी इंफॉर्मेटिव, बेस्ट सेशन टिल डेट and great session, ma'am. So you have not only given a talk but also demonstrated very well, perfectly. You have demonstrated that how we can cite different types of citation, and what are the different, from the definition of citation to the importance of citation, what are the different citation styles, and why it is required, how to use Zotero, how to use Google Docs. So there are so many things which you have packed in a very small time, and really highly grateful for your talk. And there is one question from Khushbu, that can APA referencing style can be used for sciences?
Yeah. There's no actually, see, there's no limitation. There's no restriction that you cannot use a particular reference style. It is basically governed by the requirement of the maybe the journal or wherever you're trying to submit it. So according to the requirement of the journal, you have to select your reference style. It is not that if I'm working in social sciences, I cannot use this particular style. It is not that. You can use any style anywhere.
Okay. The next question is, ma'am, can we use Zotero extensions to download closed access papers? If so, please tell us how.
For accessing what papers?
Can we use Zotero extension to download closed access papers? If so, please tell us how. Closed papers.
No,
Closed
I don't
access
think so.
papers.
No. Only open access can be visible. Closed access cannot be done, used anywhere else, because those are actually given through a particular network or maybe given through some license. So that Zotero does not violate.
मैम, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, मैम कोई इमेज साइट करना हो तो कैसे साइट करेंगे जोटेरो के थ्रू?
Zotero के through देखिए उसमें I'll just let me just share my screen. Let me just check once and then I'll share it again. Okay, I'll share my screen. I have to share it once. In Zotero, you have an option of citing artwork. Just a second. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So here, when you click on this particular option, you have an option of artwork over here. Okay. So you can see here that almost the same kind of information is available. If it is an image or anything, any image that you're talking of, it will definitely have some kind of a, if it doesn't have a title, it will have at least the name of the artist or the date. So if you provide whatever information is available, if you can find it out, you can fill it here. And that is how you can use it for referencing an image also.
Okay, ma'am. Next question is, ma'am, how safe it is to use citation given by Zoster for references?
Given by
Zosters for references.
what is Zosters? I'm really sorry. I couldn't understand.
ये मैम Zosters क्या है?
If the
तान्या
participant
तान्या का क्वेश्चन आई थिंक शी वांट्स टू राइट जोटेरो बट जोस्टर लिख दिया उसने शायद.
See, if you're talking about Zotero, it is completely safe because everything is there already there on the web. You are not using anything that is illegal or illegitimate. You're just trying to put a reference for that work. So there's no question of any security or safety over there. This is just to how to put a citation.
Ma'am, next question is, how can citation tools can be adapted for classical Sanskrit courses with multiple editions and commentaries?
I think, these days, since when I'm talking about Google Doc, if it is integrated with Google Doc, we know that Google Doc supports almost all languages. So if it is integrated with Google Doc, we can use it with any language. It can be used with Hindi, it can be used with Sanskrit, the way you want to do it. It won't be an issue over there. Although
The
I haven't tried, but I'm very sure that it can be used with other languages.
Okay, the next question is, what ethical and methodological risk arises from over dependence on automated referencing tools?
See, there is no ethical risk for using these tools. It is not an AI tool. First of all, it is not an AI tool. Had we been using an AI tool which was giving some references for a matter, right? There it is required to check or verify that whether references that are being given by the AI tool are accurate or not. But when I'm talking about an automated citation management tool, you are telling that this is the reference I want to put, which is definitely a legitimate reference available on the web or anywhere else, or you have downloaded the paper, right? So there's nothing about ethical over here. Had you been using, if you're using some kind of AI tool for generating a paper, generating some kind of a writing, and asking it to include the references also, there the question arises of whether it is legitimate or not because you are not sure of it, right? That is where the trouble lies. Otherwise, Zotero is completely, you are using, it is just an automatic tool, right? So there's nothing about ethical or anything about security. Whatever you want to include, you're including.
Ma'am, next question is, which citation software best support multilingual humanities research and why?
I would recommend Zotero because it can be integrated with Google Docs, and Google Docs is multilingual. So I think I'll recommend Zotero, but it is for its ease of use also.
The next question is this question in continuation with this. In interdisciplinary research like Sanskrit, Ayurveda, and IKS studies, how can citation tool be adapted to handle non-Western textual transition, traditions, and unpublished manuscripts?
See, if you're talking about unpublished manuscript, that is again the responsibility of the author only. Yeah, I mean that this tool is not for detecting whether it is published or not. You are actually specifying that these are the references I want to use for my writing, identifying them, and then incorporating it in your writing with the help of a tool. Right. So whether it is published or not, it is the responsibility of the author to check. I hope I've answered the question of the participant.
Yeah, large number of questions there are, and you have covered all the questions sincerely. So thank you so much again.
and you really covered each and every aspect of citations. And hope this session is really wonderful. And we will have definitely this type of sessions in coming days also. And Pramod ji, once again thank you so much. हमें कई बार पता ही नहीं होता है कि हमारे कॉलेज में कितने कितने प्रभावशाली लोग और कितना अच्छा ज्ञान लेकर कॉलेज में हैं. So thank you. My personal thanks and regards to Veena ma'am. I learned a lot from this tool. Seriously. Thank you. Over to you, Pramod ji.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। मैं प्रतिभागियों के लिए सूचना है कि वे अपना वीडियो ऑन कर सकते हैं। दूसरी बात यह है कि आप लोग बीच में हमें याद दिलाते रहते हैं कि लिंक भेज दीजिए, लिंक भेज दीजिए। निसंदेह हमारे लिए अत्यंत प्रसन्नता का विषय होता है वो आपके मैसेजेस, लेकिन इतनी आवश्यकता नहीं होती इसकी। आप लोग थोड़ा सा धैर्य बनाए रखें। अब चूंकि हमारी परंपरा यह रही है कि अंत में हम लोग धन्यवाद ज्ञापन की परंपरा का भी अनुपालन अवश्य करते हैं। इसके लिए मैं चाहूंगा, डॉक्टर आकाश प्रताप सिंह जी हैं जो एक्रीडिटेशन कमेटी के इंचार्ज हैं विदुषी अरुंधति सेंटर फॉर इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम में। मैं उनसे निवेदन करता हूं कि वो आएं और मैम के प्रति और सभी प्रतिभागियों के प्रति धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करें। डॉक्टर आकाश, ओवर टू यू।
Okay. Thank you, sir. So, first of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to everyone who contributed to this informative lecture. First of all, I extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Veena Ghuriani for sparing valuable time and sharing informative lecture on the citations, most probably Zotero applications, as well as different type of citing uh, tools. As well as I also express my deepest gratitude to our principal ma'am, Professor Haritma Chopra, Vice Principal ma'am, Professor Jyoti Singh, and founder of IKS, Dr. Pramod Kumar Singh, for their constant supports, and organizers for their constant supports, guidance, and efforts for this making lecture successful. My special thanks to all the participants, students, and guests for your active involvement and cooperations. Your presence made this event meaningful and memorable as well. Lastly, I thank everyone who worked behind the scene for their dedication and hard work. Thanks for all for this session. Thank you.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आकाश जी, आपके धन्यवाद ज्ञापन के लिए। और डॉक्टर अनामिका मैम को भी मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगा। उन्होंने बहुत अच्छे ढंग से सत्र को आगे बढ़ाया, संचालित किया। वीना मैम के प्रति निश्चित तौर पे मैं अत्यंत आभारी हूँ। उन्होंने जिस तरह से आज रेफरेंसिंग टूल्स और साइटेशन के बारे में बताया, हम लोगों को बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला। पर्सनली मैंने बहुत सारी चीजें यहाँ से आज सीखा है। तो प्रतिभागियों की तरफ से और अपने केंद्र की ओर से मैम को मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ। एक बार आप सबसे निवेदन करता हूँ कि अगला सत्र तुरंत ही शुरू होने वाला है, 7:30 पे है। वह डिकोडिंग पास्ट को लेकर के है, बहुत ही उन्नत व्याख्यान वह भी होगा। अमेरिका से हमारे साथ डॉक्टर रूपा भाटी मैम जुड़ेंगी जो इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एडवांस्ड साइंसेज में प्रोफेसर हैं। तो आप लोग बने रहेंगे और अपने वीडियोज ऑन कर लें ताकि हमारी जो तकनीकी टीम है वह इसे इन फोटोज को थोड़े अपने जो आवश्यकता अनुसार उसे कलेक्ट कर पाए, ले पाए। धन्यवाद।